Okay, welcome back to our special coverage. This is the capital showdown here on Headlines Today. Voting day, and it's war between BJP, AAP and the Congress. BJP and AAP both accusing each other of voter buyout. That's the big story at the moment. But the fact is that this happens often on election day. Two sides making accusations against each other. The Aam Aadmi Party and some of those persons there with Kiran Bedi did appear to have even BJP caps. So, I mean, that is the surprising element. The camera may have seen them talking of voter intimidation, but as you will see slowly, some of them, including that man on the left, had a cap of the BJP. So you've got to then start asking whether they are genuine voters, or is this simply part of the ploy that the two sides are playing, talking of voter intimidation. So really, these are both sides are playing in a sense to the gallery, trying to find out whether really they've been intimidated or not. Intimidated or not is a question mark. Whether voter intimidation is really taking place. Kiran Bedi certainly sounded very, very angry there. You heard Kiran Bedi? Sounded a bit like the policewoman you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, very good, because she did seem to have a point against the media, saying that the media was not fair. So each and every of those statements coming by people surrounding her, having been played verbatim. So to that extent, it is left for the judgment of people to think, but the complaints have been aired verbatim. There have been also from the other side, the Aam Aadmi Party saying that their workers have been beaten up in Sangam Vihar, in Timarpur. So all those tweets going out, flying high and fast. But the vision of the city, the visual of the city that I have had early in the morning, that this is a city under the control of the Election Commission today. So I would expect, by and large, most of these complaints being made, by one side to the other. I'm still not hearing that Congress party coming out and saying that my worker has been beaten up in such and such area. So I do think that from the messages that are coming up, it's the first two main contenders, a bipolar contest in Delhi, a poised city, and they are the ones who are coming out with complaints against each other. You know,
there you've got the Congress saying that the BJP is distributing cash and liquor. So, the AAP saying that the BJP is distributing cash and liquor. Do these things make a difference? I mean, by 24 hours to go, is it too little, too late?
Rajdeep, personally, I think that in any election, particularly in such a keenly contested election and such a minutely observed election, people make up their mind much before the voting day. This hardly makes a difference, and these kind of accusations could be true, this could be invented, but there are accusations and there are unfortunate incidents in which Election Commission should look into. For example, I just read on the Twitter, the Aam Aadmi Party candidate from one constituency in North Delhi has been beaten up and is hospitalized. So these things are happening, unfortunately. They should not happen, but so far as the voters' mind is concerned, I think it is made up already, and people have decided to which party they have to vote, which party they do not want to come to power. And about Kiran Bedi, I really wonder that how and what was the calculation, what was the wisdom in choosing her as BJP face for the Delhi CM? I mean, she doesn't seem to have grown up all these years. She is behaving as a child full of tantrums. She is not even talking like a responsible police officer.
But
she's just complaining.
But let's be honest. Let's look at Arvind Kejriwal. Kejriwal also has to provide evidence of liquor and cash. The sense is both sides at the moment. Kejriwal is saying that there is liquor being distributed.
It doesn't make difference actually.
So I'm just wondering whether both sides are cancelling each other out by making these accusations. Is the voter looking at TV and saying, should I cast my vote, or do most voters make up their mind 48 hours in advance?
That's precisely what I'm saying. That these accusations are made for the camera.
Are they made for the camera?
Let me tell you the liquor truth.
Yes.
Most areas in Outer Delhi confirm election time or no election time, illicit liquor being made there with the complicity of the police. So the voter is not going to be swayed by the accusation that this party or that is distributing liquor. In fact, one of the voters told me in Sangam Vihar, where we were doing full field work, that Sangam Vihar would be the first place in the country where, along with an SBI ATM, we would have an illegal hooch ATM working. That's the level to which it's openly sold in the streets. So the electorate is not going to be swayed by the fact that this party or that is distributing this freebie or that. This electorate is sitting here with issues. They've seen two very strong electoral contests, the Vidhan Sabha elections in 2013 and the Lok Sabha elections in 2014 with different solid issues being put to the electorate for a choice, that electorate, once enlightened, is not going back to the dark days when they voted beholden to patronage, beholden to freebies that were coming from national political parties full of cash. So we are going to see a voting that happens on the voter's mind and voters' political rationality rather than freebies of this kind.
TR, do you believe that the voter has made up his mind, or do the voters decide only in the last 24 hours based on cash and liquor?
There are two things to this. First and foremost is we should realize that about a month ago, the voter had made up his mind who he is going to vote for. And I'm especially referring to the middle class and the lower middle class, which had got disillusioned with Mr. Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party, that he just upped and gave up and resigned from being the chief minister. The government came to an end, and then, there was president's rule. But the number of times that Arvind Kejriwal has apologized to the people, both in radio, in pamphlets, the whole works, I think has made a big difference. People do feel that if he has apologized so many times and he thinks he's made a genuine mistake and he has not really, looked at the people that, they can be dispensed with, I think the fact remains that they have now openly come out and said, we would like to give Mr. Kejriwal a second chance. After all, they have taken up our issues, they have made a lot of promises, and we think we should have a government which is not the same as the BJP, because this BJP
I'm going to wait for that. I'm going to wait till the 10. Let's be clear. We don't know. I mean, we don't know which way the voter will turn.
I'm not saying with any great...
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not cash
Point
and
taken.
liquor.
Point taken.
Whatever
But
way
you accept that cash and liquor is not a critical factor as much as it used to be.
It is not a factor
at all.
At all, and more so in the south, where this happens all the time. Ultimately, the followers of the AAP...
They take the cash and liquor, but will vote whoever they want. They take from both sides.
They take from both sides.
So you'll take a color TV from DMK, you'll take the liquor from the other side.
And yet vote 30% of the electorate votes for one of the two Dravidian parties. So it's an equal vote.
It's an equal vote. It's the great equalizer. Cash and liquor is the great equalizer there. But where you are, Preeti, I presume there is no cash and liquor because you are in a VIP constituency. Or do the VIPs also need cash and liquor?
Well, no cash and liquor here, Rajdeep. Let me get you a quick update. Right now, just 30 seconds back, Varun Gandhi has walked in to cast his vote. Also, a lot of people that we are witnessing who've come in, even, being wheeled in. We just met an old woman who was carried by her son inside to cast her vote. And, this whole media stakeout that you can see right behind me, there's this old woman who's being wheeled in on a wheelchair, and she's going to cast her vote. The minute she comes in, because this is, how much our wire will allow us to go forward. So the minute she comes closer, we're going to try and get a reaction. But yes, Varun Gandhi's just walked in, right? Let me take our viewers through the people who've come and cast their vote. We've had Sonia Gandhi. We've had earlier today, we had the Vice President. We had the Election Commissioner. So this is a VIP booth. What most people here believe is Baba Log, but lots of government employees and their children also coming in. So that's what we're getting in, Rajdeep, and we'll keep tracking details. We're expecting Menaka Gandhi to come in as well. Sheila Dikshit was here. We did speak to her on why she wasn't seen on the ground campaigning as much as, say, at least the Congress voter, which has died in wool in terms of loyalty, would have wanted to see her. And she very cryptically told us that she went where she was called. So clearly, and when we asked her what she called enough, she just smiled and left the camera there. So a lot left unsaid on that account. But right, what we're waiting for Menaka Gandhi. Varun Gandhi has just gone inside. The minute he comes out, I'm going to catch him and get a reaction for you.
Okay, we'll take that. But I want to pursue this liquor point because it's fascinating. Before every election, we talk the night before. Qatal ki raat. They say, has the election commission changed the rules of the game? Let's be clear. There was a time where there was booth capturing. States like Bihar used to have booth capturing. Muscle power used to be in evidence in election. Money power is still there. I mean, let's be clear, there are candidates who even in this election are spending possibly 10-15 crores per constituency. So money power is there, but does money power decide an election? Arvind Kejriwal seems to be claiming that money power decides it. Is he now exaggerating the nature of the problem? The fact is, if he's winning, he will win. If he loses, he loses. It's not going to be because of money power, surely, Manisha.
No, but there is truth to the fact that, the bigger the election, that Arvind Kejriwal did not do very well in the Lok Sabha elections. It was the electorate telling me that Lok Sabha ke chunav mein koi huma shuma thoda jeet sakta hai. So money power does have a role to play. The fact that we've not taken cognizance of the fact of how to generate this money power in a fair and transparent manner, that's the issue. So in a sense, the bigger the election, money power does seem to have a bigger play. And the assembly elections, therefore, one could say that it's here that even a party with lesser resources, such as the Aam Aadmi Party, is able to give a very clear challenge to a party that is avowedly and definitely has far greater resources. So here, money power evening out on the smaller scale, really, India has invented that way in which not having that much resources is not such a great disadvantage. Parties will have to come out with that offering to the electorate. It cannot be just about liquor, money, muscle. That's a clear message.
No, because if you remember during the campaign, Arvind Kejriwal said, "Paisa le lo from Congress, take money from BJP and vote for whom you want." I mean, effectively saying, yes, you will be bribed, take the bribe, but vote for who you want. Now, the Election Commission objected to that statement. He was pulled up. Do you believe Arvind Kejriwal also needs to in some way also realize this? That you can't be that cynical about every election make the accusation of cash and liquor.
See, I think the biggest problem of Arvind Kejriwal and his group has been this cynicism. And when we are talking of the growth of Arvind Kejriwal, it has been precisely on this count. In this election, the quantum of their cynical statements has gone considerably down. And this time, this is very interesting that it is the BJP which is accusing media of biased coverage and all that. Last time around, it was Aam Aadmi Party which considered all politicos to be corrupt, which considered all media to be biased. This time, this is very interesting in the campaign of Aam Aadmi Party that, as you pointed out in the beginning of this program, that they are not even attacking Narendra Modi personally.
And this time it is Mr. Modi who's calling us Bazaru.
Yeah,
last time Kejriwal was calling us Bikau media.
Exactly.
This time it is Narendra Modi who's calling us a Bazaru media.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's the BJP this time who's targeting the media.
That's the point.
You heard Kiran Bedi saying selective reporting is going on.
And at the same time, whatever her supporters were saying was being telecast.
Yes.
And she was describing it as selective and biased reporting. So what I'm saying is this, that Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party has learned their lessons very well. They have reduced the degree of cynicism in their communication. They have also realized that all kind of resources are required to contest the election. They have collected money in transparent manners or whatever manner, but at the same time, this is also a fact that this overemphasis on the role of money and liquor and all that is actually a kind of insult to the intelligence and commitment of the ordinary voter.
But despite that, let's be clear, despite that, the candidates spend today much more than they ever did. No, just a minute. Let's be clear. Candidates are spending. You have to be a crorepati several times over to contest a Delhi Assembly election.
That is precisely because of the size of the constituencies and electorate.
Yes, but therefore politicians believe that they can use money.
That's what I'm saying.
If I don't have the money, I can't win an election is the general belief.
Exactly. If you look at the Chhatarpur constituency, it's the same big family which I do not want to name. All the main political parties have their candidates from the same big family, one of the richest landowners in that part of the city. So I would say that even the voter, even the ordinary voter who we think as being very intelligent, sees they wouldn't vote for somebody without any resources. So they look at people who would take their agenda forward, even in their consideration. A candidates being absolutely devoid of money power is not a good idea for Indian elections. So to that extent, look at the role that money power has played, that even the poorest thing, that the candidate must have some amount of money power backing him, otherwise he is not a winnable candidate or she is not a winnable candidate.
So, I just want to know from the south in particular, but the going rate in a Mumbai municipal election, I was told, was minimum 10 crores to 5 to 10 crores to become municipal councillors. So in MCD also it is 5 to 10 crores for MCD elections. So I mean the money has not declined in the election.
Money has not declined. In corporations, money plays a much bigger role. Let's not forget, in Mumbai, the budget of a corporation is upwards of 25,000 crores per annum. How many states have that kind of resources to spend? No, at the end of the day, money, power and liquor is far greater in the south. If you talk about Andhra Pradesh, all this pales into insignificance. I know of candidates in Andhra who've spent no less than 100 crores in the Lok Sabha elections.
That's right.
They don't hide it.
But the good thing is I know of a candidate who spent 90 crores in a Lok Sabha election and lost.
Yes,
so you can spend the money and you can still possibly lose an election.
That is a crucial point.
I need to take a break. I'm going to go to my correspondents also in a moment. The fact is that there is money power. In fact, one of the problems that Delhi election candidates have been having, they're telling me they're having to spend the money again. They've spent money just over a year ago. Now you're having to spend the money again. So if you spend 10 crores in December of 2013, you're having to spend another 10. That comes to 20 crores. And that's a lot of money. To our continuing coverage here on Capital Showdown, the battle for Delhi. Delhi voting today. And across Delhi, people are coming in now in fairly large numbers. Moderate voter turnout this morning. But as you can see now with these images on your screen, people have come in different parts of the city to come and cast their vote. Delhi has 7 Lok Sabha constituencies, remember. The East Delhi parliamentary constituency, one of the poorer parts, Trans Yamuna. The West Delhi parliamentary constituency, very much the traditional old heartland, the Punjabi heartland. And this is an area where the BJP is hoping to do well. This also includes large parts of outer Delhi, places like Najafgarh as well. Then you have the assembly constituencies of New Delhi parliamentary constituency. This is, of course, includes large parts of Lutyens Delhi, New Delhi constituency itself. Also important areas like Malviya Nagar, RK Puram. Relatively more upper class, if I may call it, is the New Delhi constituency. Then the assembly constituencies of Chandni Chowk, parliamentary constituency, which is the older part of Delhi again, the old Delhi constituencies of Chandni Chowk, the smallest parliamentary constituency. Then you have Northeast Delhi, where you have a large amounts of jhuggi jhopdis, unauthorized colonies. These are the poorer sections of the city. Northwest Delhi as well, which is again with large sort of tenements and unauthorized colonies there as well. And the South Delhi parliamentary constituency, which now includes large parts of outer Delhi with a rural character as well. The one thing that unites most of these parts is slum areas. I was told about 52 to 54 of the 70 constituencies have at least some small or large slum pockets in Delhi. And that is the demographics of Delhi which has changed, which viewers need to understand. And I think, Manisha, you've been driving this point for a long time. We've got to realize that Delhi is a very changed city. This is not the Delhi of even 20, 30 years ago. I'm told 5 lakh migrants now come into the city. 17% as per the figures that I have are Purvanchalis coming in from eastern UP and Bihar.
So the large part of the new migration that has happened is really the urban agrarian distress that you see in these parts of the country. Every passenger train that pulls into the Delhi railway station, the third class compartment of that, in a sense telling you how these poor migrants will be herded into zones of illegality. A lot of what you see are not even slums. These are, when we see from remote sensing images, we see that these have roofs that are blue tarpaulin, blue polythene, the cheapest material available on your head, and that keeps you at the edge of the city, flimsily your foot inside. But all of them, thanks to Indian democracy, whether they have a roof over their head or not, do have an election voting card. We do have studies that tell us of the number of bogus voters in the city. But I would say, by and large, the PDS mechanism has been excluding citizens. Voter card has been including citizens. Therefore, a lot of the new migrants and the poorer who come by in the third class compartments and live in these very, very tenacious settlements do have a voter ID card. Today is their day, Rajdeep.
Would I be right, therefore, in saying that without the slum vote, you cannot win Delhi anymore?
No,
you will need a majority of the slum vote to get a majority in the city.
Absolutely. And therefore, if you see the Congress party winning in the last 3 elections had been on the politics of hanging carrots in front of the slum colonies, the dangling carrot of authorization was indeed the card that the Congress party played out even until the last 2013 elections, when Jag Parvesh Chandar, Sajjan Kumar's son, was leading a sammelan of the unauthorized colonies and settlements. So in a sense, these poor citizens who put their one foot into the city, want their foot securely and firmly onto the ground. And therefore, you've seen all the 3 parties, including the Congress, the BJP and the Aam Aadmi, had said that the right to shelter, jahan jhuggi wahan makan, aapke upar chhat hogi. So in a sense, this is the critical electorate that all parties, whether in contention or not, would like to have in their fold. The Congress had the largest share of them through a certain kind of politics. That politics having broken up for spoils, the Aam Aadmi Party being the major shareholder of the vote that has come from the Congress Party, and the BJP also in a sense inching up through their very strong grassroots presence of Panna Pradhans and the Radhaswamy Satsang Bias, really strongly pitching out for the votes that are coming out from the slum settlements and unauthorized.
So you're saying slum settlements are important. Remember, that is a critical factor. One that we are going to observe. I'm going to ask our reporters to go to some of those areas because that's really where the voter turnout is large. Varun Gandhi, meanwhile, has just come out. Let's try and listen to whether he speaks. Rahul certainly didn't.
Varun, finally, do you think it's going to be a referendum on Narendra Modi's leadership, the elections of Delhi, the results? Take it easy, guys. Varun, this side. Alright, so we saw Varun Gandhi leading a bit of...
No one was, the question was put, is this a referendum on Narendra Modi's leadership, was the question which was being put at that moment. Clearly, that question was not answered. Is it a referendum? Yes, no, yes. Is it a referendum on Narendra Modi's leadership? Yes or no?
Yes.
Is it a referendum? Yes. Yes. Why? It's a Delhi election. It's about the slum voters. It's about a different vote.
No, just a minute. BJP has made it a referendum on Narendra Modi.
BJP has made it a referendum. Is it a referendum on Narendra Modi's leadership?
I said right at the beginning, Rajdeep, that if BJP wins, then the throne goes on Modi. If he loses, then the blame is on Kiran Bedi.
Isn't it Kejriwal's test more than a referendum on Modi?
No, it is Kejriwal's test. And if the BJP wins, it would be the Karyakartas on the ground, I would think, that would have taken the party to a victory. I wouldn't see it as a referendum on Narendra Modi, but I would certainly see it as a question mark, a challenge to Mr. Amit Shah, who seems to be leading the election machinery, and it is said, it is rumored that he is the person with all the electoral acumen and he can win elections where no one cannot.
Okay, so if the BJP wins, it's a big win for Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. If the BJP loses, Kiran Bedi, there on your screens, will perhaps have to take a lot of the blame, or at least that's how she will she become the scapegoat if the BJP loses. If they win, she will be the Chief Minister of Delhi.